Have you ever held a deceased child in your arms?
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my
I
country.
find your
I've served
comments
my country. I've
disgusting
served
as
my
well,
country
sir.
for 34 years.
I find your
this
comments
is out of
disgusting
control.
as well.
I've served my country for 34 years, and yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms. In back of that tractor trailer, I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like, and I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives.
Today, I'm breaking down one of the most explosive moments ever caught on camera in a congressional hearing. The viral clash between former acting ICE Director Tom Homan and a Democratic lawmaker over the Trump administration's family separation policy. What started as a debate about rules quickly turned into a raw and personal showdown about immigration, morality, and the hard choices made at the U.S. border. Accusations were flying, tempers were hot, and suddenly, it felt like the weight of the entire national debate was squeezed into one room.
These egregious and cruel conditions and policies are not accidental. Mr. Homan, during your time as acting ICE Director, deterrence was the order of the day for you. The memo bears that out, exactly what you planned for. The Trump administration claimed they had no choice but to rip children from their parents because they were criminally prosecuting the parents pursuant to zero-tolerance policy. Again, and policies that the administration created and that you, Mr. Homan, accepted, enforced, and championed, as we've seen. Let me remind everyone that the Trump administration tried to ban asylum seeking and started the process of metering, which then prevents people from coming through legal ports of entry. That exacerbated the crisis. People are desperately waiting months just to get in line and be granted the inalienable rights to due process. Mr. Homan, you have said that most immigrants are, quote, not criminals other than the criminal act that they do when they enter the country illegally. That is why I think we ought to revisit decriminalizing desperation, striking sections 1325 and 1326 of Title VIII of the U.S. Code, the statutes that the administration has leveraged to separate thousands of children from their families. Mr. Homan, do you understand that the consequences of separation of many children will be lifelong trauma and carried across generations? Have we not learned from the internment of Japanese Americans? Mr. Homan, I'm a father. Do you have children? How can you possibly allow this to happen under your watch? Do you not care? Is it because these children don't look like children that are around you? I don't get it. Have you ever held a deceased child in your arms?
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my
I
country.
find your
I've served
comments
my country. I've
disgusting
served
as
my
well,
country
sir.
for 34 years.
I find your
this
comments
is out of
disgusting
control.
as well.
I've served my country for 34 years, and yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms. In back of that tractor trailer, I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like, and I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member of Congress.
We agree on that.
Fix it.
We agree on that, but I disagree. But I also disagree with your characterization of immigrants as prone to criminality.
People for 3 decades on this.
Gentleman's time has expired. It's my time now.
Mr. Chairman,
It's my time.
the gentleman ripped off about 7 different questions designed to go at the character of Mr. Homan, and Mr. Homan should be given a chance to respond. It was ridiculous, the way he just rattled them all off and wouldn't let him respond to them.
Let me say this. I understand that, but first of all, I'm going to have civility in my hearings. All right? I have the floor.
I understand, and I agree with you.
I'm going to have civility. That's why I was banging, so that we could hear each person speak. I have been very courteous and very kind. Now, Mr. Homan, do you have something to say?
No one in this room has seen what I've seen in my 34-year career.
Very well.
No one has experienced what I've experienced. I've saw many dead bodies coming across this border. And you want to talk about the memo? This memo is one option to stop death. Not just about enforcing the law, stop death. If you want to legalize illegal immigration, good luck with that, because it's going to get a hell of a lot worse on that border. If you say, well, okay, from now on, there will be no consequence, no deterrence. It's not illegal to come to this country illegally. More families would come. 31% women would be raped. More children would die. We're a nation of laws. If you don't like it, sir, change it. You're the legislator. I'm the executive branch, and I've served my country honorably for 34 years. And I will not sit here and have anybody say that I don't care about children because you're not the same color as my children.
Thank you very much. It is my time.
Here's how it all went down. The confrontation kicked off with a Democratic representative slamming the Trump-era family separation policy, claiming it wasn't just a byproduct but an intentional move to scare off migrants. The argument? By prosecuting every parent who crossed the border illegally, the administration created the nightmare of thousands of children being torn from their families. The message was simple. The suffering wasn't accidental. It was the point. The hearing shifted into a bigger debate. The congressman argued that strict asylum rules and metering left families stranded in dangerous limbo, and questioned whether laws criminalizing illegal entry should even exist anymore. Things started getting personal as the lawmaker pressed about the trauma inflicted on children, asking, did the people in charge really understand what these kids were facing? And then, the most dramatic moment hit. The congressman looked Homan in the eye and, as a father, asked how he could ever support policies that separated families. That's when Tom Homan lost it. He called the accusation disgusting and shot back, defending his 34 years of law enforcement. He said, "My job has always been protecting lives, not destroying families." The room went dead silent. This was no longer just about policy, but about integrity, honor, and a lifetime of service on the line. If you're finding this breakdown helpful, now's the time to hit subscribe so you never miss moments like this. Homan then shared a story that clearly haunted him. A child who died during a smuggling attempt. He argued that deterrence policies were designed to save lives, not cause pain. His point? If there are no consequences for breaking the law, more families will risk dangerous crossings, and tragedies will only multiply. The hearing became a battle of worldviews. Was it more humane to enforce the law strictly, or to loosen the rules and risk chaos? At this point, the committee was so divided, the chair had to step in just to keep things under control. As things wrapped up, Homan delivered his final shot. ICE and border agents don't make the laws, Congress does. If lawmakers hate the outcomes, it's up to them to rewrite the rules, not blame those who enforce them. Suddenly, the focus was back on Washington itself. Bottom line, this wasn't just about one policy or one official. It was a gut-wrenching clash over what justice and compassion really look like at the border. One side saw trauma caused by enforcement. The other saw tragedy that comes from weak enforcement. That's why this moment went viral. It laid bare the deep national divide over immigration, accountability, and what protecting lives truly means. So what do you think? Was this about law, compassion, or something in between? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the political moments that matter most.